Okay. Sorry, I've got new equipment here. I'm trying to sort it out. I'm trying to get rid of, where is it? Trying to get rid of that. But my sight line, let me see here. Oh, I know what I can do. No, I can't. Sorry. Hello. So I'm just goofing around with my YouTube camera here. Anyway, okay. One of my unscheduled lives, so it should be slower, which is good. Means I'll be able to get to more questions. Okay. I don't know why, but Facebook's been really slow to start with lives. Instagram's super fast, but Facebook's very slow to start. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca Brown, I know you. Well, I don't know you, but I know the name. Okay. Wow, 2 people. Okay. Just waiting for people to turn up. Hello, Shell. Got 2 on Facebook and 3 on Facebook and 2 on YouTube. Well, usually by the time we get going, I've got about 150. So it's always a slow start when I'm on Facebook, and YouTube's my smallest platform. So, but I got 10,000 followers now on YouTube. YouTube's a search engine. It's not social media. So, yeah, it's a bit different. I'm still sick, but getting over it. Okay. So, see, I'm trying to get my sight line. I've got 2 cameras, but I'm always looking a little bit off on YouTube because I'm looking at my questions on my phone. So anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, new equipment. I'm doing my best here. Okay, so let's get going with your parenting questions here. We've got one from Rebecca. I've been watching you a lot. I have a 2.5-year-old girl I'm trying to potty train. Any advice? It's a whole system. Check out my course. It's called Potty Party. And it is a party. It's a messy party, but it's a party. And it's in the link above. By the way, if you go to the link above, you can get all my stuff, my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses. I've got one on potty training, one on tantrums, one on hitting, and one on bedtime. Or you can look at my big boot camp course. It goes from 3 to 12 years old. And or you can look into coaching. Anyway, that's all in the link above. By the way, there's evidently a bunch of people out there pretending to be me because I've got a big following now on social media. And there's a whole bunch of people out there using my videos, my name, my information. Don't buy from them. Make sure that if you're going to buy anything, make sure it's on here. This is me. There's lots of fake accounts out there. You can't help it. Once you get sort of a bigger following, you're going to get that. So nothing. And as soon as they get reported, they get shut down. And then they open up under another thing. So you can't stop it. It's just part of it. So yeah, just beware. What do you put on the behavior board when your kids like doing chores and cleaning? I get this a lot. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're still doing a good deed. But there's usually chores that they don't like. Like not many people, even kids included, don't like cleaning out the windowsills in there or cleaning the top of baseboards or maybe dusting a ceiling fan, with a long pole, something like that. There's usually stuff that no one likes to do. Cleaning out the vacuum filter. There's these new vacuum mop combos out there. And I know I love cleaning. I just know cleaning that would be more work than they'd be worth. Cleaning out. Could you imagine it sucking up all this milk going sour in there? They call it self-cleaning, but you'd still have to go in and clean it. Obviously, I don't back any of those products. I know how to clean. Okay, I have an 11-week-old and I have an 11-week-old and a 23-month-old. What's the best way I can split my time between them? I can't help you with that. Yeah, I can't help you with that. You're just in the heat of it right now. You're going to mess up a lot of stuff. You're not going to give equal time to both. They're both going to be crying sometimes. It's just part of having a toddler and a baby. It's just part of it. Sorry about that. Can't make it easier for you. You're physically in the heat of it. So wish I could help you, but I can't. It's just, you'll get past. It just will fly by. You'll have those wonderful moments, and then you'll have those moments of sheer hell because you're just being split in two and no one's happy. So it's just part of it. Sorry about that. Sorry, can't get rid of this Fruit Loop and cold. Well, it's just still in here, but I feel fine now. Okay, this is Jamie West. How do I get my kids to fight less with each other? One is 3 and the other is 5. Can't get them to get along? I got too many ideas for that one. What? Okay, they're fighting. I got too many ideas. Every time I get a lot of ideas, I kind of get, what do I say? Put on the behavior board if they hit, no hitting. Put that down. There's a consequence. They have to do something nice for the other one if they do hit them. Also, don't encourage wrestling. I know a lot of families like to wrestle, and I don't actually encourage that because what's the difference between good wrestling and bad wrestling? You know, it's hard for kids to decipher that. So also just separate them if they can't get along. You take one kid away from the fun for a couple of minutes and just have them stand there while you're doing the dishes, put them back in, then take the other one out. Keep separating them back and forth. If it's a sharing issue, I've got 3 different stories for sharing. So let's say there's one swing and 2 kids. You would say, hey, let's flip a coin. Whoever goes first gets 1 minute swing, and every turn after that is 2 minutes. So you're kind of managing things to make things fair. A lot of reasons why kids fight is it's injustices. They feel like things are unfair. The other kid's getting more. So you get involved and make sure you make things as fair as possible, right? Take charge. And yeah. What's another option besides 24-hour media blackout? My kids only get iPads on. Okay, so if you don't have a lot of media, you just take away anything else that they love. It's usually something that they like every single day that they don't need. So think about it. There must be a favorite toy or something, but you never take away like a plushie that they sleep with, something that they love. But yeah, you take away something that they like, their Lego. You could take that away for 24 hours. One kid I worked with, or the parents, I don't even know what the thing was called, but it's evidently really trendy right now. It's some building set. They showed me. It looks like a bunch of flat pieces that go together. This kid's obsessed with it. So he didn't get that for 24 hours. He was very upset about it. What's a good way to get my 7-year-old to talk to me about everything? Like get her to feel she can tell mom anything. You use these more than you use that. That is my number 1 tip for parenting teenagers, but it's a good one for all ages. And the number 1 tip for parenting teenagers is you listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with. They'll shut you out if you do that. So whenever they're talking, you just go, oh yeah, that's interesting. Wow. Give them a lot of credit for what they're saying. And if they come up with a problem, like if I went to my mom with a problem, Mommy, what should I do? She would have said, I don't know. You're a smart girl. You can figure it out. And we talk about it together. I always thought I was coming up with my own solutions, but we were discussing it together. So give them a lot of credit. Give them a lot of room to have ideas and give them credit for it. So, yeah, that's a great idea. What I might have done is this, but your idea is better. Get problem solving with them. Builds up their confidence. They're more likely to talk to you. So don't gather information to lecture with. Just listen to understand and show empathy. Listening is your best tool with parenting. Okay. How do you teach a 7-year-old empathy and compassion? That's a tough question. If you're a leader, they generally are just kind of nicer kids because they have higher self-esteem. People with high self-esteem tend to have more compassion and empathy for other people. They just do. So yeah, and children who have a leader as a parent tend to have high self-esteem. So just keep following what I'm saying, and it kind of happens organically. You can't teach them to have empathy. Some people are kind of born with it. I was born with that mothering gene, like way too much of it. I remember I was about 2 years old and I found an earthworm. It was on the road in the rain and I thought I would save it. So I remember wrapping it up in a blanket and I put it in bed with me at night and it shriveled up and I was devastated. I killed this worm. But I always had that mothering instinct. Is that empathy? Maybe, maybe not, but that's mothering. So I think you're born with a lot of stuff. Some people just have more of that than others. But if they respect you, they're going to treat you well. So that is compassion and empathy. Oh, you're talking about other people's kids? I don't tell other people how to parent. Like what I mean is if you're complaining about someone else's kids, nothing you can do about someone else's kids. I would never tell someone else how to parent. Like in my personal life, I would never tell my kids how to parent. None of my business. Yeah. I've got a granddaughter. She's only 5 months old. And yeah, I would never tell my kids how to parent. They're doing a great job. They might do a better job than I did. You know, who am I to judge? I just teach what you're soliciting my advice by turning up here. But in my personal life, I never correct other people's kids or unless I'm babysitting them. I always say, you know, none of my business how you're parenting, but you drop kids off at grandma's house, grandma's rules. So if you trust someone to look after your kids, don't micromanage them. Just let them do it. I've got a new computer here, and it's giant. And as you get older, the last thing you need to see is yourself on a big screen. It's not pretty. It's kind of a sideline, but I bought an iMac. And have you ever seen those boxes at those iMac? Because I want my my laptop to be portable. So, and it was plugged into too many. I never took it off my desk. Anyway, talk about saying "come and mug me" when you're carrying that giant iMac box. I said to the guy when I bought it, I said, by the way, if I'm back in 5 minutes with an empty hand, I have to buy another one because I got mugged in the parking lots. It's just like you got this red flag, like you're just like, come and mug me. I got really paranoid getting down to the parking lot. You're beautiful. Thanks so much. Yeah, I was just making a joke. I've made peace with my wrinkles and all that. I'm fine with it. When my daughter throws tantrums, it's very hard to hold back laughter. I don't know if that's uncomfortable for me because it's hard because she goes off the deep end. Any way to help with that? I don't know how old she is, but yeah, I would never laugh at a tantrum. That's mocking them. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I do have a course on tantrum busting. If you're interested, it teaches you how to manage yourself, basically. You can't manage a tantrum, but you can manage yourself. Parenting, I teach parenting. I don't teach kidding. It's all about how you manage yourself. Okay, someone asked on YouTube, how do you stop your mom from trying to parent your own kids while you are there doing the parenting? Oh, you just say, when you undermine my parenting, you hurt my feelings. If she doesn't respect that, I can't help you, right? That's all I would say. You hurt my feelings when you try and micromanage, when you undermine my parenting. If they don't understand that, you can't, nothing you can do. But I'm just trying to help. I said, you're hurting my feelings. You see, like people hide behind good intentions all the time. I'm just trying to help. You're being annoying as anything, but you're trying to help. Like they hide behind that as if they're this godly kind of, I'm just trying to help you, you know? Yeah, it's passive aggressive. I don't buy that. How do I manage the older kids parenting the younger, ages 23 months? Oh, 23 months. Wow, I don't quite understand that. 23 male, 23 female, 20 female, 16. Say they're my kids, not yours. Yeah, you're not the parent. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, plus, they wouldn't do that if they felt you were in control. Maybe they're trying to help because you are struggling and they have to live there and it's annoying. So yeah, work on your leadership skills and then that probably wouldn't happen, right? Check out my boot camp course. So that would apply to the 7-month-old. Oh, male, 7-year-old male, I'm guessing. Yeah, the boot camp course is for 3 to 12 years old, but a lot of people are using it with teenagers and say it works there too. You just have to adjust a few things, but it's all about you and your leadership. You're at the height of your leadership power from 3 to 12 years old. Okay, that's when they want to please you. When you're a good leader, the kids want to please you. You want that. You don't want teenagers to want to please you. You want them to want to please themselves and not disappoint you because you're still the parent. You're just the leader with the big stuff. Don't micromanage them. Let them handle the small stuff and you just handle the big stuff. She is 6 and I don't mean to laugh. I have to turn away. So 6-year-old having a tantrum. Generally, tantrums stop at between 3.5 to 4 years old. Why is a 6-year-old still having tantrums? So yeah, check out the boot camp course. That might be a good fit for you. Yeah, tantrums shouldn't still be going on. When you're a leader, they tend to stop at about 3.5 to 4. Whoops. What about play date? This is Rianne on YouTube. What about play dates with kids whose parents parent drastically differently? My kids are so confused and frustrated. I don't know if we can continue with these play dates. Okay, very good question. I don't know their age, but even a 2-year-old can understand the difference between one style and another, and they're okay with that. They adjust very quickly to that. I'll give you a good example of that. My kids, I was the leader. My ex-husband was the pleaser. And it's usually the way it is. There's usually a very strong leader. There's usually one who's sort of in charge, right? And then there's more the pleaser who, do you want this? If you do that, you know, that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, when the kids first, and they were little, and they first started squirming on the change table, they learned very quickly not to do that with mom. Because I would say, I'm changing your diaper, and it's going to happen. And I put my arm across their chest, and whoop, their diaper was changed, and that was it. So they learned not to struggle. They struggled for ages with dad, because he would go, okay, if I let you down, you get a toy, and then you'll be good. Then all that kind of stuff. And they knew the difference. They were probably 1.5, and they understood the difference even then. They do adjust very easily. When you're a leader, they adjust very quickly to your style. It's just the way it is. So work on your leadership skills. It will always be dominant. It will always be the dominant one, that the children will quickly meld into your style. Like an example, my kids used to go to, and I was always strict, right? Like I expected good manners and that, and I knew how to get it. So, but when they go to other people's houses, their kids would be snotty to the parents and everything. My kids never pick that up. When you're a really good leader at home, they don't pick up other kids' habits. And they'd even come home and say, you know what that parent let them do? They were abhorred about it. They just couldn't believe it. So yeah, they will always default to the leader because they like themselves when they're with the leader. What time is it? Okay. Okay, but wait, I have kids that are struggling with what to do for raising their kids. I've tried to encourage them to look you up, check you out, and I've sent them segments for things that are dealing. Am I wrong? If they ask your advice, you can do that, but I wouldn't offer it. Right? How do they appreciate it when you offer advice? Yeah. That's this is actually a good tip with anything, but it's my top tip for parenting teenagers is listen to understand and show empathy. Don't listen to gather information to lecture with or give advice with. If they want your advice, they'll ask for it. You can kind of use that with anything, right? With anyone. Yeah. If they ask for your advice, that's fine. So yeah, you're just offering advice. It's kind of annoying. Yeah. Did they ask for your advice? If not, then I wouldn't give it. Nope. Like if someone's complaining and I know the answer, I would say, do you want my advice? And if they say, no, that's okay, then I wouldn't give it. But usually they'll say yes. Like if someone is unloading on me and I know, and if I know the answer, I have a pretty good idea, I'll say, do you want my advice? So I always sort of do it like that. I'm from Prince Edward Island and I love your videos. Oh, thanks so much for your support. Carol O'Brien. Reminds me of the Seinfeld. O'Brien. If you know, you know. It's like this. Does anyone know what this is? That comes up a lot in coaching, Okay, I'll give you a hint. That's Ross on Friends. Sorry, 2 weeks into them, still got this stupid cough. And some people are just born more empathetic, more understanding, more calmer personality. Well, you're born with your certain DNA, your certain basic personality. It's the behavior that we're working with here. It's how you treat people. I never want to change a child's personality. I want to change how they behave and how they treat people. There's a difference there, right? You don't want to change their basic personality. Okay. I have a 13-year-old who's a great kid, but he keeps pushing the boundaries with time boundaries for bedtime, technology. And when you say something, he doesn't answer at all. Dinner time and silence, etc. Just check out the behavior board. I would put down follow media management. And media management is he's 13. He maybe give him 13 hours a week on media, but he can manage when he goes on there. So get systems in place. You haven't got systems. You haven't got so what else? Oh, bedtime. Why are you telling a 13-year-old to go to bed? And does he have any technology in his room? I wouldn't allow any phones or anything in their room at bedtime. So just say, okay, so bedtime at 13 might be 9, 10 o'clock. I don't know. So just say, okay, so 10 o'clock, hand over your phone. There's no screens in your room. So yeah, that's a blanket statement. There are exceptions to that. All teenage stuff is coaching if you're interested in that. It doesn't sound like you're dealing with a lot though, so you probably don't need coaching. Oh, you're asking me for marriage counseling. So someone's saying, what do you do when the other parent's disagreeing with you? I don't know. Do you want marriage counseling? That's what you got to do. You got to get on the same page. You got to respect each other. But what I do, I get this a lot in coaching when people hire me. And there's one parent who doesn't agree with this stuff. And I say, look, you paid all this. I can say this when you do coaching. You paid all this money for coaching. Go with it for 5 weeks. If it doesn't work, then say, I told you so, and do the other. So you have to agree to pick a path. You just have to pick a path and flip a coin. Say, look, I'm going to follow Lisa, me, for 5 weeks. Let's follow her. Or we're going to follow someone else. But you got to pick a path and stay on it. If you're not consistent, the kids pick up on that weakness and they'll play you against each other. So it's not a good way to be. You got to be consistent. Like I was the leader. My ex-husband was the pleaser, but we were always on the same page. So he deferred to my leadership. And that's the way it goes. Like if it was any discipline or anything, he would say, do you want me to tell mom? So, and that works because we're on the same page, right? You don't have to be the same parent style, but you have to be on the same page. Like if there was anything that really needed figuring out, yeah, you got to be on the same page. Bluegrass, Iowa here. Bluegrass. Wow, that sounds nice. Love your thoughts on parenting. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that. 11-year-old with impulse control, taking money. Okay, again, 11-year-old taking money. That's kind of a tricky one because there's a lot behind that. You can't. I don't even know if I'd want to put that on the behavior board. No stealing. I guess you could just put no stealing on the behavior board, but don't put it where other people can see because that's kind of humiliating. But yeah, check out the boot camp course. That might be a good fit for you. It just gets you set up as a leader. That's all. It's all about you and your leadership. But we're not fixing kids here. We're teaching parents. And summer is a really good time to do the boot camp course. You can stretch it out over the whole summer. You can stretch it out it goes for 5 weeks, but you can stretch it out to 6 or 7 weeks. Sound like an old man with emphysema. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to move over to, because my voice is starting to go. And I want to get to, because I'm on Facebook right now, I want to get to Instagram and TikTok. And I'm on YouTube the whole time. That's where I save all of my lives. Actually, my daughter does all my videos. She takes them off of the YouTube mostly. Does this boot camp course give you ideas for the consequences on the behavior board? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You start with the behavior board that's completely free. And then you move up to the boot camp course. That's the next level up. But it's all full of behavior boards. Like the first 3 weeks are behavior boards. After that, you don't want to use them as much. You pull away. Like I would never use a behavior board. There's no way I want a kid looking at a board. I want them looking right at me. So you got to learn. It's just a teaching tool I invented like 17, 16 years ago. And because you're on it too, that's what makes it different. Parent has to be on that behavior board. It's an accountability chart for everybody. You're giving respect to get it. That's how this works. It's a teaching tool though. So you do them for the first 3 weeks. You're just learning how to do this leadership stuff. And then you don't need the behavior board anymore. That's how it works. Oh, I got to move over to Instagram now. I can feel my voice starting to go because I've been coaching all day and now I'm doing this and my voice just can't hold up. So anyway, if you want to follow me over there, it's Bratbusters Parenting on Instagram. And then I'll be moving over to TikTok after that. And in the meantime, check out the link above. You can see my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses. I have one on potty training, tantrums, toddlers who hit, bedtime battles. Or you can look at my my boot camp course. It goes from 3 to 12 years old. It's all focused on you and your leadership. You learn how to be a leader in 5 weeks. And then, or you can look into coaching. So if you have teenagers and you're struggling with them, that's my favorite age, by the way. I specialize in teenagers. You'd have to look into coaching. Anyway, thanks so much. And I'll see you over on Instagram. Bye now. Oh, gosh, I'm sick of being sick. Okay, just waiting for Instagram. I used to wait till I get about 100 people in there. There's 102. Okay. Sorry. Still sick. Okay. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. You can check out the link above. You can see my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses. I have one on tantrums, potty training, hitting, and bedtime battles. Or you can look into my boot camp course that goes from 3 to 12 years old. It's all focused on you and your leadership. Learn how to be a leader in 5 weeks. Good time to do it right now over summer, by the way. The more time you spend with your kids, the more effective this is going to be. Anyway, or else you can look into coaching. So let's get going with your parenting questions and feel better. Yeah, I'm just so sorry I'm coughing. This has been, last week was hell. I had a fever and coughing. And I never canceled one session. So yeah, it was awful. But I feel fine. I'm just sound awful. Okay. What's the secrets of your long hair at this age? Yeah, I'm 63 years old. I don't color my hair. I just let it grow. Yeah, I don't do anything. Although half my hair has fallen out, but I started with more than you would ever need. So yeah, I'm thrilled that I love menopause. I finished with it years ago and I've got half the amount of hair. I gained 40 pounds in menopause, all fell off. So did half my hair after menopause. And, but yeah, no, I don't do anything. I'm not into makeup or anything. And if I ever go gray, I might color my hair. I don't think I'd even do that though. I'm too lazy. Too lazy. How should I react when my almost 3-year-old talks back to me and yells? You don't react to children, you get them to react to you. Set yourself up as a leader. You might want to check out the boot camp course. Set yourself up as a leader. You don't react to that stuff. You just don't. Yeah, you want them to react to you. This is what a lot of parents do. They're so busy trying to fix their kids and reacting to them. You're missing the whole point. You set yourself up as a leader and they will react to you. That's how this works. But there's there's a learning curve to this and it's not easy, but it's worth it. So check out the boot camp course. It might be a good fit. It's in the link above. And by the way, there's a whole bunch of people out there trying to scam people out of money, using my videos, using my name. This is the only place that's me. If you see other accounts and Twitter, I've already been hacked on there. I'm not even on Twitter. So someone's hacked my account on there. So I don't really do Twitter, so I haven't bothered even trying to fix that. But anyway, just to let you know that I hear this all the time. People are getting scammed out of money by people pretending to be me. Because once you get a big following, that's just going to happen. And then when you shut one account down, they just open up 10 more. So there's nothing I can do. Just make sure. Obviously, this one's mine because I'm here live, right? Toddler making excuses for why he can't go to bed, so he's manipulating you? Yeah, okay. Check out my bedtime battles course. That goes from 2 to 8 years old. It's a very wide range, but it's the same system. It's 2 parts, how to get them in bed, then how to keep them there. And yeah, I need water. Whatever, you're going to bed. So yeah, it's all that manipulation. Yeah, don't fall for it. But anyway, it's a whole system, how to get them in bed and how to keep them there. It's ugly. Yep, it's ugly. It's a bad night, but it's worth it. So check it out. It's up in the link above. And yeah, that's also in my boot camp course, by the way. Anything that pertains to 3-year-olds and above that is in the toddler years also is in the boot camp course. But potty training isn't because that's under 3. It's a separate course. I signed up for the behavior board and didn't get it. You got to wait about 20 minutes. And but we did have a glitch over the weekend. I think it was Friday and Saturday. My newsletter delivery system company they had a glitch in their company and people weren't able to open up the behavior board. But if you looked at view in browser, it would turn up. But yeah, you have to wait like 20, 30 minutes and you'll get the email. I actually might end up changing my email company. It's just a matter of, changing everything over. So yeah, that's the second time there's been a glitch with them. So anyway, nothing I can do. You pay for companies to deliver stuff. And if they don't deliver it, I'll just pay more and go somewhere else. It doesn't bother me. My 5-year-old learned the F word, so whenever I give a call, I'm ignoring her tantrum. Okay, so you got a 5-year-old who started to swear. Just put on the behavior board, no bad words, and when they do, there's a consequence. Okay, they'll eventually learn. Oh, you asked about a 1-year-old. Is it okay for a 1-year-old to not drink milk anymore? I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor, so I can't answer that. Yeah, can't answer that. Okay, 7-year-old boy only wants to play sports with mom, but not on a team. Should I force him to join or wait until he's ready? I would force him to join. Say, look, and I did this with my son. He's not a joiner. He still isn't. My daughter is. She joined everything. But I used to say to my son, look, you have to join one thing every term, every semester, whatever you call it. And but you can choose what it is. So I made him try everything, and then he could choose whatever he joined. But yeah, it was just part of it. You have to join something. So, and then when he was a teenager, I didn't do that anymore. But and then he just didn't join things. I'm not really a joiner either as much. I'm sort of more in the middle. My daughter is a hardcore joiner. She joined everything. She likes her schedule jam-packed. My son, not so much. So yeah, but I did make him join stuff. What are good consequences for the behavior board for a 3-year-old? Check out the behavior board. That does have examples on there. And don't get caught up in the consequences. Everyone seems to think, boy, you got to get a really good consequence and it just solves everything. It's not about that. It's about your consistency and follow through. So don't worry about the consequence. It's just usually doing a good deed, like a chore. Even if they like doing it, they're still doing a good deed. So don't get caught up in what it is. Just make sure it's on there and you follow through with it. The consequence isn't the important part. It's your follow through, your consistency. That's the important part. So I know a lot of parents get caught up in what's a good consequence? Yeah, I don't know. It's not that important. For the kids, they always have 2 consequences. There's a positive action. If they won't do that, then there's a negative deprivation. So how do I redirect my 2-year-old who wants to stop wanting his passy all day, pacifier, dummy, soother, whatever you call it? If he can have it sometimes, then it's not fair to not let him have it all the time, sort of. So I'd just get rid of it totally. But I'd replace it with something. Like get a special straw cup or something and just put like water in it, something that you replace it with. But yeah, you got to get rid of it totally, or else he's going to want, you know what I mean? It's like smoking a little bit. I can remember years and years ago, my cousin decided she was going to quit smoking, but she was going to do it gradually. So she said, I'm only going to allow myself to smoke in my car while I'm driving. Well, wouldn't you know, she ended up living in her car. She seemed to be driving everywhere all the time after that. So yeah, you either are quitting or you're not. It's like that. It's like that with the pacifier. It's not like that with everything, but I mean, yeah, I would get rid of it totally. And he's probably started obsessing because you've probably started weaning him off it, right? Consequences for the behavior board for an 18-month-old? No, it starts at the age of 3. At 18 months old, they have no impulse control. They can't stop and think before they act. You just use consistent corrective actions, not words. And eventually they'll learn. They might learn 50 times of you physically correcting them. Like if they're throwing something, you keep taking it away, taking it away. They might learn the 50th time, but there's no behavior board. It starts at the age of 3. At 3, they have the ability to stop and think before they act. It doesn't mean they will, but they can start to learn. So that frontal lobe is starting to develop. Under that, they're just kind of crazy. They're like one marble and some tumbleweed floating around in there. I'll read out my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers. Number 1, child-proof your home so you never have to say no. Number 2 is you set up a toy rotation system so they're never bored. Number 3 is when you want to connect with a toddler, this is under the age of 3. If you want to connect with them, You do so in their world. You do not take them to the nail salon. You go to the park and you roll down the hill with them. They'll start to look at you differently. Number 4 is when you want to correct a toddler or discipline a toddler, you do so in their world. They're not about words. You know, these mini therapy sessions discussing all their big feelings and saying stupid things like, use your words. How patronizing is that? Anyway, that's ridiculous. They're about actions, consistent corrective actions. That's how they will eventually learn, through repetition. And number 5 is stop trying to figure them out. Toddlers are not figure-outable. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They've got one marble and some tumbleweed floating around in there. Imagine if you've only been in the world for 2 years. In the first year, you were a potato laying on a mattress. Like, they're just forming. I always call them crazy. It's just that they haven't developed sanity yet. It's not that toddlers are difficult. It's your lack of understanding of them. So, yeah. Just have to manage their environment. Where did you live in Australia? My son was born in Sydney. We started out in Marsfield, ended up at Emu Plains in a house that we moved in to fix up to sell. Then we moved up to Brisbane. And we were in Arana Hills for many, many years. My daughter was born in Brisbane. So, yeah. So my kids were born there. My son still has an Australian accent because we moved back to Canada when the kids were 10 and 15. My daughter was 10. She doesn't have an Australian accent. 8-year-old always tells me no. That's because they don't respect you. Work on your leadership skills. If you look at the link above, you can check out my boot camp course. That's all about you and your leadership. It's all about you. I don't teach kidding here. I teach parenting. We're not fixing kids. We're teaching parents. Okay? Okay. What's your opinion on natural consequences? I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. I only teach what I know and what I've learned through kids. So I don't know any of the terms that are out there. So, and I don't know what you mean by natural consequences. I'm probably going to guess I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't like it. It's my gut reaction. Could be wrong. Any parenting courses on how to speak to your child? My son... Yeah, that's what I teach. I teach how you give respect to get it. Check out my boot camp course. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Plus, I went through a whole bunch of group coaching sessions. I only did it once so I could put it on the course and get feedback, because that course is only not even a year old yet, I don't think. No, it isn't a year old yet. So anyway, a whole bunch of videos are on there, Zoom calls with a bunch of parents too. So you can see all that too. And you can see other parents are dealing with the exact same stuff you are. How do you deal with ODD? Oh, God, you're going to hate me. I don't really believe ODD is a thing. Doctors have told me it's something that was made up to make moms feel better about themselves. They said it's not a medical diagnosis. It just means you got to feist your kid. You got to work on yourself, work on your leadership skills. Yeah, ODD. That's oppositional defiant disorder, and doctors have told me it's not a medical diagnosis. It was just invented to get rid of mom guilt. In other words, it gives mom the excuse, oh, I can't do anything, he's got ODD. It's a way to make moms, it was invented for moms, it's a way to make them feel like they don't have to do anything. It's horrible, actually. So it's not your fault. Yeah, it is. You want to take responsibility for your kids, don't you? Don't you want to take the blame, the responsibility for your kids? Like, everyone's trying to say, oh, it's nothing I can do, he's got ODD. Yeah, there is something you can do. Don't you want to take responsibility? Yeah. Parents are very quick to blame their kids for their behavior, not themselves, though. It's really fascinating. Yeah, I find that fascinating. Why would you want to blame your kids for their behavior and not yourself? Like, I find that really who do you love more, you or your kids? Like, I would never blame my kids for their behavior. I would always go, what am I missing here? What am I doing wrong? Take responsibility. That's what a leader does. A leader takes responsibility. A non-leader blames the kids. A leader takes responsibility. And, but yeah, I don't believe in oppositional defiant disorder. I've never understood it. Never. And then doctors confirmed that. They said, no, it's not a thing. It was just basically invented to absolve mothers of having responsibility for their kids' behavior. I don't know why they fed into that. It's ridiculous. Oh, you've probably already left by now. That's okay. I say what I'm thinking. I can't not. I have no filter. My brain and my mouth have no relationship whatsoever. They work independently of each other. Okay. How to help a kid from a bully. I don't have a course on that, but I go into it in my boot camp course. So I do sort of, but it's not a specific niche course. But anyway, I'll tell you my story. I was in grade 2 and I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of class. So when I came out, I was in the hallway all by myself. Now that had never happened before. I was like 6 years old, walking down the hallway all by myself at school. And unfortunately, the school bully came out of the principal's office because he was in trouble all the time. And we're the only two in the hallway. And I had to get past him. And he saw me. He was grade 5, I'm grade 2. And he's this big, he was a nasty kid. Anyway, I can't remember his name actually, but he was nasty. So anyway, he saw me, he's licking his chops. My name, and I was terrified. My last name was Hanky. So he came right up into my face and he says, Hanky Panky. So I said, I prefer Snot Rag and Boogie Bundle. Oh, well, got to get back to class. And he never came near me again. And then I realized years later, I assessed that. And what I had done was, sorry. What I had done is I'd agreed with him, used humor, and then I gave him an out. Okay, so I agreed with him and I used humor with it. And then I said, got to get back to class. I teach this to kids. I've taught it in schools. And so what you do is you role play with your kids at home and you pretend you're the bully and then they pretend they're the bully. You go back and forth and have fun with it. Don't make it serious. And when you're doing it, don't use an example that's true. Like if they get teased about their big ears or big nose, don't use that as the example. You put like a silly hat on and say, oh, I hate your hat. Make something up, have fun with it. And then you teach them, say, yeah, the whole family has hats like this or something. Yeah, we call ourselves the Hat McCoys or something. And then say, what are you going to have for lunch? Or what's your favorite game or something? So they agree with the bully, try and use humor, and then they defer and change the subject. If it's already happening, the bully's already happening, it's hard to do. It's hard to fix because the bully already knows they can get to your kid. If it's physical bullying, you never teach a child to fight back. Bullies are not always cowards. They're often very practiced fighters, and they might really beat your kid up. So it's up to adults to fix physical bullying. But the emotional stuff, remember on Seinfeld, my son used to say, all of your life knowledge comes from sitcoms. I love sitcoms, especially the Roseanne show. I used to love that. But anyway, Seinfeld said they were saying about bullying with kids, and they said, oh, and Elaine said, oh, boys are so mean. And then they said, well, what did girls do? And she goes, well, we just used to tease someone till they developed an eating disorder. So boys and girls are usually different. Boys are more likely to be physical. Although I remember once I was in grade 8, and I still remember the name of the girl getting beat up. There was a physical fight with a girl getting beat up. And I was right there watching it. I remember just about, I thought I was going to soil myself. It was so horrific. I'd never seen anything like it. And it was 2 girls going at it. But one was just the victim. She was just getting brutalized. I was horrified. We were all, someone went running in to get help, and it was just all happening so fast. But yeah, so girls don't usually do that. They were tough girls, I guess. I don't know. I used to think ODD was the thing, but it's really not. I have struggled to get my 4-year-old, but amazing. She's been so much different since I've stayed home and actually took the responsibility of being, but yeah. Yeah, oppositional defiant disorder was just to take the responsibility off the parents so that they don't feel guilty. But you're also absolving them of doing anything about it. It's like, oh, well, I can't control their behavior. They have ODD. No one's buying that anyway. Like they don't care. I've worked with really difficult kids. I used to call them alphabet kids, ADHD, WXYZ, whatever. And I still managed to get respect and good behavior with them because I was a leader. I never worried about I never opened up one file. I was handed a lot of files. I never opened up one. I never dealt with their diagnosis. I dealt with the kid. And I worked on myself, my leadership skills. Now I managed to get respect with all those kids, troubled teens, toddlers, whatever. So was it them or was it me? Okay, work on yourself. You lead, they will follow. A leader leads, right? Love your kids enough to set yourself up as a leader for them. It builds their self-esteem. They like themselves. They have pride in themselves. And you got a great relationship with them. Okay, they won't rebel in the teen years either. You'll sail right through the teen years. Might be a few bumps, but nothing huge. Oh, you're here. Oh, you stuck around. Some people have left. I hate your guts. I'm leaving. Okay, see ya. I don't blame them. I have no tact. So I don't blame them. I understand that. Bully course for kids would be fantastic. I did think about doing it, and I remember thinking, no, I won't do that. And I had a reason for that. I don't remember what it is right now, but I did have a reason. I might do it one day. It is in the boot camp course, though. It's a whole section in the boot camp course. Sorry, I might have to get going because I really want to do TikTok also, and I can feel my voice just isn't good. Still 2 weeks in, I can't believe this. Anyway, okay, so check out the link above. You can get my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses. I've got one on potty training, tantrums, hitting, and bedtime battles. Or you can look up my boot camp course. It goes from 3 to 12 years old. It's all about you and how to set yourself up as a leader. It goes over 5 weeks. It's all an online course, lots of videos on there too, with other parents asking questions too. So you're not alone. And then the last one is coaching. That's the highest level, highest levels. That's kind of weird, but that's one-on-one with me. So that's if you're really dealing with a lot of stuff, or if you've got teenagers, or a lot of people just want one-on-one. Some people have bought the boot camp course because they want it as reference throughout the years, but they've also bought coaching. I don't really think you need that, but some people like to do that too. So it's up to you. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. And I'm heading over to TikTok now. Hope you can join me there. Happy parenting. Oh, geez, Lou. Sick of coughing. Works good at the gym though, because I just go up to a machine and start coughing and everyone runs. And then I get the machine to myself. What am I doing wrong here? Okay. Alrighty. I'm on TikTok now. What do you think the biggest mistake is that new parents make in discipline? Inconsistent. They will wait it out. They'll just hopefully they won't have to deal with it. They'll try and reason with the kid. And they go, that's it. I've had it. And, it's inconsistency. Yeah. Stay calm and consistent. So, yeah, they've just got this slow burn. And then when they blow up big. It's like a stick of dynamite. They light the fuse and then they just lose it. Hello, Hannah. Okay. What am I thinking? I'm just reading. They've got new things on here. TikTok adds all this new stuff all the time, and I never understand any of it. Subscription leaderboard. What the heck does that mean? I don't know. Anyway, can't figure stuff out. I just got a brand new computer, and I am gigantic. Not on the phone, but on the computer. I bought an iMac thing, and it's got this giant screen. There's nothing like being 63 years old and seeing yourself on the big screen. It's frightening. I love being older, but I don't need to see that much of me. Okay. My daughter lies. Okay, I need the age, by the way, but you said my daughter lies and says she is bad in her class, but the teacher says she's great. Thoughts? I haven't got a clue why she would do that. That's not something I hear very often. Why would they lie about being bad? Unless there's other kids at school that are bad and are considered cool. She's trying to be the bad kid. She's 3 years old. Is that the... Oh, she's just 3. Yeah, she's just testing stuff out. You will love having an iMac. Yeah, I don't know. I do so far. I wanted my MacBook Pro to be mobile, and it was like an octopus that had everything plugged into it, so I never took it off my desk. So now I'm more mobile. But yeah, the iMac is faster, so I'm enjoying that. But I bought my daughter a really souped up MacBook Pro, and I think it's probably even faster than my iMac. She works with me, so she does all the video editing. That's why she needs it really fast. I didn't understand it. She just told me what she needed. So it's one of those souped up ones. I didn't know they could soup up a computer. You have to wait a while for it though, because they're building or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about computers. Unexpectedly expecting third. You got a surprise. Any advice? I'm nervous. Nah, no advice. It's just all the same advice, parenting. Yeah, it's all the same parenting advice. Thoughts on teens And phone usage, I want to take it away completely. Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Um, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Uh, it's kind of a drastic step, and they all have phones, so you're just cutting them off at the knees with that. It's too drastic of a step. So I would just have some rules around it. Make sure they can't go to bed with it. Like what I mean is at nighttime, you take it away, or else they'll be up all night. So say at 10 o'clock, whatever, you have to hand it over, and I charge the phones in my room, something like that. But yeah, if you're really struggling and there's stuff going on online, you're worried about it, you'd have to hire me for coaching to work you through that. That's yeah. I don't know what your relationship's like. So a lot of my advice with teenagers is very different because I have to work on your relationship first. Everyone wants me to work on their teenagers. I don't do that. I work on your relationship with your teenager, then we can work on their behavior. But first you got to build the relationship. So 9-year-old who is so nice, but is really easily angered and lashes out. I don't know why that would be. So he's nice when everything's going his way. Is that what you mean? Then when things don't go his way, then he's upset. Is that what you're saying? So everyone's nice when they're getting their own way. Yeah, check out the boot camp course. You work on your leadership skills, and that doesn't tend to happen because I don't know what's causing that. I don't know. Three-year-old boy is ruthless. I've never heard anyone explain a three-year-old as being ruthless and so manipulative. I've heard of that. I've messed up somewhere. LOL. Yeah, just keep watching. Yeah, he's only 3. God, that's easy to fix at 3. Again, check out the boot camp course. Summer's a really good time to do that. It's all about you and your leadership. You lead, they will follow. Everyone's so busy reacting to their kids. You want to switch that so they're reacting to you. That's what a leader is. A leader is someone that they react to. They want to please you because they look up to you. You make them feel good about themselves. Check out my pool story. It's the example of leadership parenting video. It's the very first video that I've pinned here on TikTok. I don't know where it is in YouTube, but anyway, it epitomizes leadership parenting. You deal with bad behavior, then you focus on the good kid. Bring out the best in them. That is your leadership. You bring out the best in kids. You're not a dictator. You don't want obedient little soldiers. You want kids who are confident. They have a voice. They like themselves when they're with you. And when you've got that kind of relationship, they naturally want to please you. Why would they act out with someone that makes them feel great about themselves? Think about it. Have you ever been around someone who makes you feel great about yourself? Would you ever be rude to that person? You're all over them. You're like, what can I do for that person? Right? So, yeah. There's a lot of power in making people feel good about themselves. And that's what you do for kids. Am I supposed to hide my emotional sad moments from my kids? I think, okay. If you're going through a lot, yeah, basically, you give them little snippets of it. You never lose it with kids. It scares the hell out of them if they see you sobbing. So yeah, it's okay to be sad once in a while, but kids want to have fun in life. I think we're all born that we have that fun detector in us. We all want to have fun. Fun is their love language. It's not being serious and depressed and all that. So you want to work on being positive around your kids as much as possible. I think that's important. Yeah. My mother was a joy-seeking missile. She had a rough life, but it doesn't matter. She always said, I wake up every morning and I decide to be happy and fun. And everyone loved my mom. She was so much fun, but really warm. She was lovely. And, but yeah, she really believed that you don't put your moods on other people. She said, no one wants to be brought down. Everyone just wants to have fun and enjoy themselves. And that's very true. I learned a lot from my mom. I probably was more moody in that when I was younger, but as I got older, and then when she died in my arms. I was 55. This was 8 years ago. She died in my arms, and it was almost like that switched over into me. I basically am always a joy-seeking missile. I've avoided anyone who doesn't bring me joy in my life. I've got rid of them. Yeah, anyone snarky or whatever, they're gone. I search out joy in my life now. So you want to have a good attitude for your kids. It's just a happier way to go through life. But if you are going through sad times, be careful what you let them see because you don't want to scare them. Oh, excellent. Love your content. I just had my first child and you make me excited to be a strong leader for him. Parenting was the most fun I ever had. I loved it. I just had a blast. I miss it. I got a grandchild. It's not the same. It's someone else's kid. Can I have my daughter back now? No. Like, you have to hand them back. Grandparents talk about that. Oh, it's better because you get to hand them back. That's the worst part. I loved parent, but no one loved parenting like I did, I don't think. Like, I wallowed in it. And I have to hand my granddaughter back. She belongs to someone else. Anyway, that's no fun. But anyway, but yeah, I think parenting was fun. Get all that pesky discipline leadership stuff all cemented when they're little, and then just have fun with your kids. Yeah, we had a blast. My favorite time of the day was 3 o'clock. I got to pick my kids up at school. That was my favorite part of the whole day. Loved it. That's because I was a leader and my kids had a voice. They were very, very loud, they said what they were thinking. But they were good kids. They were respectful. We just had fun. Okay. Did you work while raising your kids? No, I didn't. I taught aerobics, and that was it. I was a full-time. I was very lucky. My husband at the time went out and worked, and yeah, I stayed home. And then I started my business when they were teenagers. So it was 17 years ago. I started this business, and then I worked from home. Would your kids ever want to do one of these and talk about their favorite things you did? Well, no, I keep their lives are private, but my daughter works with me. She's like a partner in my business. So we will one day. We do have plans where she's behind the scenes. She hates being in front of the camera. If I see a camera, I'm like a camera-seeking missile. I always want to be in front of the camera. Probably shouldn't admit that, but yeah, I do. But she hates all that. She's behind the scenes. But yeah, she works with me. She makes most of the decisions in our business. So, because she loves business. I love the parenting aspect, but she loves the back end business planning and all that. So she does have some plans. She will agree. Like we'll probably tell our story one day. She came on board last September in my business, and now it's our business. And yeah, we'll probably tell that story one day. Imagine mother-daughter in a parenting business together. So yeah, we'll tell that story. She's agreed to do that one day. To get her in front of a camera is just it's torture. She hates it. And my son's not involved in the business. He's got his own, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. He did turn up on a live a few months ago. Just once. Any advice on books or articles that may help? I don't know. I don't write any. And I've never read a book on parenting or kids. I only teach through my own experience. No one taught me this. Kids taught me this. So I can't recommend any books. I've never read one. So yeah. I'm the only one that teaches this leadership stuff. So although other people are out teaching it and saying they got it from me. So yeah, that's what happens. I got a big following now. So people are imitating me now, and whatever. That's fine. Spread the word. How do I get my middle child, 6-year-old, to stay out of me trying to discipline siblings? Well, if you were a leader, they would not do that. So yeah, it sort of says to me that they think you don't know what you're doing. So once they have confidence in you, that wouldn't happen. And I would just say, look, you're not the parent, I am. So yeah, but everyone wants to fix their kids. We don't fix kids. We set you up as a leader, and then that kids sort of organically get on board with that. They start reacting to you in a positive way. Everyone's trying to go fix the kids. I don't do that. I fix myself. Fix yourself, not your kids. They will follow. So everyone's trying to put the cart before the horse. The horse is you. What a stupid analogy. I'm the worst at analogies. I used one the other day that was so stupid. Thank God it was just in a client session, and I didn't say it on a live. It was so dumb I couldn't believe it. Even they said that was bad. And I said, no, it's so stupid. So yeah, I shouldn't have said that cart and horse. I always get that wrong anyway. Okay. Does this differ from books, Love and Logic, Witches' Choices? I have no idea. I've never read a book on parenting. I teach through experience, so I have no idea who that is or what that is. How do I become a leader parent? You can check out my boot camp course. That's all about you and your leadership. It teaches you how to be a leader in 5 weeks. And there's a whole bunch of videos on there with other parents asking questions too. So you'll see you're not the only one going through this. Love that saying, the horse and cart. I usually say it backwards. And another one I say wrong is the once the horse has left the barn, there's no point closing the door. But I always use it inappropriately. Like I never get that one right. Best advice for divorced parents of 2-year-old. Well, we were divorced, and the best advice I can give you is to love your kids more than you hate each other, and never fight in front of your kids, ever. They don't care. They just want you to get along. I remember, like, we still went everywhere together. Like, we went to all the kids' stuff and everything together. We were always parents first. I'm very lucky. I never really saw him as my ex. I always saw him as the dad of my kids. And I'm sure that's the way he viewed me too. You sign up for life with that person. And yeah, so you got to respect the fact that's the father of your kid, and just treat them with respect. And yeah, just never, ever argue in front of your kids, and try and be on the same page with parenting. Just get along for your kids' sake. Put on your big boy, big girl pants. Get along. I taught a course once years and years ago. I used to do in-person stuff more, and this is a long time ago. And I set up this seminar called Parenting Through Divorce. And I said to them, you don't bring anyone else with you. Don't bring girlfriends, boyfriends. Just the biological parents turn up, meet in the parking lot, and walk in together and sit together. And they fought in the parking lot. They fought down the hall. And they fought when they sat together. And there was me up at the front. And all I said was, I'm disgusted with you people. You act like this in front of your kids. And they were all embarrassed. I never taught it again. That upset me. That upset the hell out of me. Because I thought, you act like that in front of your kids? How mean to do that to your kids. How mean. Yeah, just get along. You chose to have kids with that person. Even if you didn't, you're stuck with that person for life. Just get along. If they don't take the high road, you do it anyway. Don't drag your kids through the mud. That's why my kids said they never really suffered through a divorce, because there was no fighting. They don't care if you're together. They just care that you get along. That's all they care about. How do you handle 16-year-old teenager who threatens to leave whenever you discipline? You'd have to hire me for that one. I specialize in teenagers, but I can't answer that because I don't know your relationship. I don't know your history with that teenager. And I don't know where they're going to go. And I don't know why you're disciplining and what you're disciplining about. Yeah, you'd have to look into coaching. That's in the link above. By the way, I got to get going. My voice is just going to go. I can feel it clicking in and out. Anyway, check out the link above. You can get my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses. There are 4 of those. One's on bedtime, one's on tantrums, hitting, and another one is on potty training. Or you can look into my boot camp course. It goes from 3 to 12 years old. It's all about you. It's all focused on you and your leadership. Learn how to be a leader within 5 weeks. Summer is a really good time to do that, by the way. And also you can look into coaching. And anyway, that's it. Thanks so much for joining me. Happy parenting. Bye now.